Okay, so for our third lesson, I'm going to cover a few things that I forgot in the previous ones. This thing up here is called a nut. They used to be made of bone, now it's made of something else. But that's basically like a zero fret almost. That's like just to keep the strings above the fretboard and like in line with the saddle and like the bridge back here, so that way the strings aren't like super high or super low. Um, and yeah, that's the only part of the guitar I forgot. Everything else I think I covered. Um, Strings. This is pretty important from top to bottom. It's E A D G B E. Um, just memorize that, know it forwards and backwards. E B G D A E. It's one of those things you just kind of have to know. There's no easy way to learn it. Just remember those letters. Um, and the top and the bottom one, this is an E and this is a higher E. They're both E. So you can see how they sound very similar, just in different spots. Uh, so then, and the 12th fret up here, usually that's indicated by this double dot here, where the other ones are just singular. Um, this is also E, A, D, G, B, E. So it's an octave up. I won't get into that now, but basically one range up, you have everything repeats again. So when you get up to here, everything from here is the same. So that kind of just breaks down the neck in half right there, which is kind of cool. Um, and just some basic terms. I'm reading from my first guitar book, which it's amazing that I still have this from my first guitar teacher. Um, Pitch is whether a note is higher or lower. So like this is higher than that, and this is lower than that. So some of these things might seem really basic, but sometimes certain terms are like really similar, and it's good to know the difference between them. Volume is the loudness. So if I if I pick this really lightly, as compared to, then the second one is louder. It's more volume, and it's controlled by the hardness of what you play. A strum is playing more than one string at once. So like that's like basic strumming. And then picking is picking out a single note like we were doing with Smoke on the Water. And like I said, a chord is when more than one note is played. Um, so a lot of this is like reading sheet music, which you really honestly don't do too much in guitar. I mean, you could, and it's probably a good habit, but I never really learned it. Your fingers, this is your first finger, second, third, 15th. My guitar teacher made that joke when I first learned, and I didn't get it at first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then pretty rarely you'll use your thumb, and that's your 0th finger. It's an awful joke, I'm sorry. That's about it. So I'm going to get into chords. Now, chord reading, it's pretty straightforward. I'll have some diagrams and stuff too that I'll put on the side of the video. But I'm going to start with the D chord. So what the D chord is, it's like a little triangle down here. So you don't play the top two strings. You do play the D string, E, A, D, the third string, you play that one. And then the string below that, with your first finger, put that on the second fret. So now you have, alright, and then with your third finger, the third fret of the next string, the B string. So you have, and then with your second finger, the second fret of the very last string, the E string. So it's, now the thing here is when you're reading a chord diagram, usually where people get confused is the difference between the fret and the finger. They'll see like 1, 3, 2 and think that it's, which is not the right thing to play. So once you could play that, just try to pick out each note so that it's crystal clear. Pick it up and down. Do like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's a downstroke. Then do an upstroke, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's hard to tell with the video, but you're going down 4 times and then strumming up the second time, which is a little bit trickier because then you can't play, you don't want to play these top 2 strings, but you're going up, so you kind of have to like dodge them on the way up. Just make sure that you're always playing the whole chord. You don't, so especially with the D chord when people are first learning it, the third finger tends to block the bottom string, and you get that, which you want it to be like crisp and clear. Which if you're strumming, you don't really hear it, but it's so much prettier if you play it clearly and concisely. So yeah, just play around with that. Have fun with it as much as you can, playing like different like combinations of like upstroking and downstroking. And then I'll go into one more chord here. Or you know what, I'll save it for next time because I don't know how long these videos can be. That's it.